We're at number 5. So number 5, we want, now highlight it, this. That's what they mean by find BC, right? They want this side here. Yuck. Maybe I should have made it a little smaller or less. Let's choose that one. No, let's choose this one. That's what they want. Oh my god. It's gonna be a long video. Anyways, they want this side over here. Okay, that's what they want. There. So let's label things. That's angle A. This is little a, which represents this side. Angle B, we don't know. No, I just write capital B. And then this opposite of angle B is little b, which represents that side. And then this is angle C, and obviously this is little c. Set your proportion A, and I'm only going to write this once. B, sine of B. And then side C, sine of angle C. Right? Let's substitute. So little a, I don't know. Leave it alone. And sine of angle A, I do know. It's 93. Little b, I do know, is 16. Angle B, I don't know. So I'm going to leave like that. And then C, what the heck? Oh, C is little c. And sine of angle 58. So, oh, I made a little thing here. Not mistake, but I forgot. I do know angle B. The sum of the angles in the triangle is 180. So to find this angle, the value of this angle, all I have to do is do 180 minus the 58 minus the 93. And the difference is going to be angle C, which is 29 degrees. So I do know all three angles. So over here, where it says B, capital B, I'm going to write 29. The only thing they want from us right now is this guy right here. So we're not solving for the triangle, we just want side, the measurement of little a. So we're going to use 2 out of the 3 ratios, and obviously anytime you're given a proportion, you know 3 of the 4 values, so pick 2 ratios where you know 3 of the 4 values. Well, we obviously want this guy, right, because we want to find little a. So either we use this ratio with this ratio or this ratio. Well, it can't be this one, because if you set a proportion between with this one and this one, you're going to have 2 unknowns, A and C. So you can't solve it, right? You have 2 unknowns. But if you use this guy and this guy, you can. So let's see what that looks like. So a, little a, sine of angle 93 equals 16 over sine of angle 29. Look, you know this one, you know this one, you know this one, and this is your unknown, and we can solve for that. So a, cross multiply, sine of 29 equals 16 times sine of 93. We can divide both by sine of 29. This simplifies to 1, and then a, or little a, is that. So you gotta enter that in your calculator. So if you don't have a calculator, find one online. So it's 16 times sine of 93 divided by sine of 29. And you should get this, 32.96 degrees. So not degrees, 32.96, whatever units this is. So this measures 32.96. That's it for that particular question. For 6, which is our next one, this says find the degrees of this angle here. That's what we want. We know 3 sides, we know 1 angle, so I can't do 180 minus 2 angles to find angle C, because I don't know what angle B is. So let's set up our proportion. So let me label this. That's angle A, so that means this is little a. This is angle B. This means this is little b. This is angle C, which means this is little c. Proportion. So that's A, 26 over sine of 88. Little b over sine of angle B. I know nothing here. And little c, which I do know, is 21 over sine of angle C. Now, we are only interested in this guy here, right? They're not asking us to find anything about B, so I'm going to take this away. And there's our proportion. So it's going to be a little bit different because we're going to have to use the inverse of sine, right? And because we're looking for the angle. So let's cross multiply, see what that looks like. 26 sine of angle C equals 21 times sine of 88. I'm going to divide both sides by 26. This is going to go away, so let's do that first. So on your calculator, put that. So we're going to get 21 times sine of 88 divided by 26. And in your calculator, you're going to get this ugly number. Leave it there, 0.807200283 forever and ever. Now, it says here that the ratio, there's an angle, and that the ratio of the opposite over the hypotenuse is 0.807200083. What angle gives you that ratio? Well, in order to find that angle, we're going to use the inverse. So sine, the inverse, and 0.807200083, right? That's, so in your calculator, look for that. It's not sine, it's the inverse sine. Press it and enter that number, and you're going to get an angle. And angle C equals 53.82 degrees. So this guy here is 53.82. Now that you have angle C, you could actually find angle B, which would be 180 minus 88 minus 53.82. And you could find angle B. And again, if you were asked to solve for the triangle, then you can, the last step would be to set up a new proportion to find little b. Okay, that's it. It's that simple. Except when we have cases like number 11. Remember I talked about when we have two sides and an angle, we don't really know if we can create a triangle or not. Right, so we have to check for that. So let me build this triangle. And if you remember what we wrote in class to find the height of a triangle, we do h, height is b sine of a. That's not really, and this is based on this configuration, right? So let's say you knew angle A, I'm making this up, right? Angle A, and you knew this guy right here. So you knew this angle and this side. You could use this to find the height of the triangle. So for this one, so I know the letters are different. So it's based on this angle and the adjacent side there. Okay, so let's draw this triangle. So we have that this angle is 70 degrees. Let's call that A. And for this particular problem, let's call this C. Right, and this is 25. Notice I'm not, I'm not completing because I don't know if we can make a triangle, if this is long enough to touch the bottom here, right? Depending on the height. As it is right now, think about it. As it is, if this is truly the height, there's no way that stick would be able to touch it, right? So there are some conditions here in which we have to see if we can make a triangle. The conditions were, let me erase. We have three conditions. Condition 1, here's angle A. This is B, and this is the height. And this is little a. So is A, little a, is greater than B, and little a is greater than the height, then that means that this guy here, this side over here, can form a triangle. It's long enough to come down and make the triangle. So that's one condition. The other condition is, so we can make one triangle. And what happens, there's a condition where I can't make a triangle. So that would be this case right here. where you know the angle, right? You know this angle. You know what this is. And then let's say the actual height of the triangle was this much, right? And then, but A is this tiny. Could you make a triangle out of this if that was the height? No, I can't, because as you can tell, this is not long enough. So little a is less than b, right? And guess what? Little a is less than the height. So I can't make a triangle, right? Based on this angle, this length of b, and this length of a. So there's that condition. And there is the other condition where you can actually make two triangles. So, and that one is where you know this angle, right? You know this side, and you have a height, right, that you know. And this A here can make a triangle by touching this bottom line over here, and it could also touch over here. So you can end up with two triangles, one that looks like this, and one that looks like this. Okay, so that's a third case. And in this case, A, little a, is going to be less than B, but the A is going to be greater than the height. So when you have that condition, you get two triangles. So let's figure out here on number 11 what it is. So for number 11, let me erase this because I keep thinking this is 78. It's 70 degrees. So that angle is 70 degrees. We know this is 26 and little a is 25. So that's what that's your drawing looks like. We need to find the height. So the height is going to be right. So it's going to be this side, right? 26 times sine of 70. Always, right? So it's this side here times sine of 70. Okay. So let's figure what that is. 26 times 170, enter, and we get 24. We get that the height is 24.43. Now, so the height's 24.43. A is 25. Okay, in this case, instead of B, they're using C, and C is 26. So is A greater than B? Sorry, is A greater than C in this case? No. But is A greater than the height? Is A greater than height? Yes, so we have this condition right here, the third one. All right, and in this case, which means that this guy here is greater than the height, so 26, the 25 can make a triangle. So we're going to have two triangles in this case. And I'm going to erase all this and show you the two possible triangles. You're going to have one triangle that's going to look like this. Right, that's 25, this is 26, and this is 70. And the other triangle is going to look like this. That's 70, that's still 26, and that's 25. So we're going to have to do, unfortunately, double the work. Okay. So now that we know that, let's label. So this is A, this is C, this is B, this is A, this is C, this is B. And let's call this triangle 1, let's call this triangle 2. Let's do triangle 1. I can erase all this. So for triangle 1, we're going to write 25 over sine of 70 equals B sine of B. And C, little c, right, it's 26 over sine of angle C. The first thing we're going to do is use these two and find angle C. All right, so 25, cross multiply 25 sine of C equals 26 times sine of 70, right? Because I'm cross multiplying that. I'm going to divide that by 25, divide that by 25. Sine of angle C. So let's multiply that out. 26 times, 70 divided by 25. Your calculator, you're going to get some number that looks like this. So there's an angle that if you create and you divide the opposite over the hypotenuse, you get this answer here. What is that angle, right? What angle can we use so that the ratio between the opposite and the hypotenuse is 0.977280326? And we have the ratio, so we want to go back and find the angle. So in order to do that, we're going to take the inverse. (7280326), and we get that angle C. I don't know why I did that. Angle C is 77.76 degrees. So I can come over here and I can write, I'm going to write it like this. This is 77.76. I'm going to go over here, right, erase that, and I'm going to write 77.76. And I can find angle B now. This angle here, I can find is going to be 180 minus 70 minus 77.76. So let's do that. 180 minus 70 minus 77.76, and that's going to give us 32.24. So angle B, and I'm going to come over here and erase. And I'm going to write the angle B is 32.24. And then all I'm missing now is finding this little b, which is this guy right here, this length right here, which I'm going to change to red. Right, the opposite of angle B, the opposite side of angle B. This is what I'm missing. 77, 76 is the angle, so a little degree. So now you can use, right, any two ratios, either this ratio with this, or this guy with this guy. These two, the first two pair, or the second and third, to find little b. Doesn't matter. Let's just stick to the first one. So 25. So I'm going to use this one. Okay. I'm going to use these two. So cross multiply, I get 25 sine of 32.24 equals b sine of 70. Let's simplify, divide both sides by sine of 70. This one is easy, right? And then, look, I get little b. So, 25 times sine of 32.24 divided by sine of 70. Enter. It gives us that little b is 14.19. So this guy here measures 14.19. So that's all triangle 1. Okay. Now the good thing is that if I know this angle right here, one second. Download. 1 second. What are we doing? What number is this? Number 11? And then the good thing is, because when I draw the second triangle, because I already know that this is angle C here from the first triangle, 77.76. On the second triangle, this guy here is going to be the difference between 180 and 180 minus 77.76. So I'm going to erase everything. Right, not everything, but erase all that information that I don't need right now for angle 2. I'll just leave. So we solved triangle 1. We're going to solve triangle 2. And the only piece of information from triangle 1 that I'm going to use for triangle 2 is that for when we did triangle 1, this was 77.76, which means that this, in the second triangle, angle C is going to be the difference between 180 minus 77.76, 180 minus 77.76, and that's going to give us that this is, it's going to be 102.24. Okay, which makes it easier because now I can also find angle B, and angle B is going to be a very small angle. 180 minus 102.24 minus 70, which is going to make angle B 7.76. So when we do the second one, it's a little bit easier. So for the second triangle, it's little a over sine of 70. Little b I don't know, but I know angle B, which is 7.76. Little c I do know, and angle C I do know, 102.24. Yeah, so literally for the second triangle, it's much easier. All I need is little b. Okay, so again, you can either use these two or these two. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to keep it simple and not use the first two that I see. Cross multiply, b sine of 70 equals 25 sine of angle 7.76, divide both sides by sine of 70. And little b in the second triangle is going to be 25 times second number 1. Oops. 25 times second 1, 7.76 over sine of 70. Oh, shoot. And we're going to get that little b, in this case, is 3.59. In this case, second triangle, little b, which is this side right here, measures 3.59. So, yeah, 11 is a pain. Okay, because there's two triangles. Let's do 13. So 13, let's draw it out. 13 you're given, and again, you're going to have to change letters. If you want to make, so you're going to change letters. So you're given one angle, and this is what you're given, 145 degrees. Right? And I know when I did it in class, I draw it like this, but here you can pretend that this C is angle A if you like. Okay, that doesn't really matter. So from that perspective, this is angle C. So little c, it's the opposite, it's this guy, 33. And I notice I'm not drawing it fully because I don't know if I can make a triangle. And this guy here, the other side that's given to us, is 7, is this. So first thing, let's find the height. Height is going to be 7 times sine of A, sine of the angle. And h is going to be 7 times 145, and that's going to give us 4.02. The height, this height here, is 4.02. Now, can we make a triangle? So again, go back to the conditions, right? So and this is, by the way, little c. So is little c is greater than the height? Yes. Is little c greater than this side over here, which is side side B? Yes. So when that's both true, that this little c, right, little c is greater than the height and this other side, then this forms just one triangle, and I can now close this. Okay, so now we can work on finishing the triangle. So this was B and this is A, so that works out. Little a I don't know, little b I do know. So A sine of A, little b 7 sine of angle B, which I don't know yet, and C, which is 33 over sine of 145. Yeah. Okay. So let's find angle B, because if I find angle B, I can find angle A. So I'm going to use these two. So I'm going to get 7 times sine of 145 equals 33 sine of B. I'm going to divide both sides by 33 so I can get rid of that. And then we're going to use the inverse function sine, right, to find the angle. So let's just get to that first. So 7 times 145 over 33, enter, we get this number, which is the ratio of a particular angle. Sorry, it's a ratio of the opposite over the hypotenuse of a particular angle that we don't know yet. And we're going to use the inverse function to find out what the angle is. So B is the inverse sine of that number. So what angle gives us that ratio? Enter, and that angle is angle 7. B is 7 degrees. So B is 7 degrees. Now angle A, very easy to find, 180 minus 145 minus 7, that gives us that angle A is 28 degrees. So let me go over here. I'm going to change this guy to 28, and I'm going to change this guy to 7. So this is 28, and this is 7. So notice that the only thing I don't have now is little a. I have 2 out of 3 sides. I have all 3 angles. I erase this now. I'm going to set up a proportion using 2 out of 3 ratios, and I'm going to use this guy and this guy to find what little a is. So cross multiply, I get a sine 7 equals 7 times sine 28. Divide both sides by sine of 7. Sine of 7, that cancels, simplifies to 1. So a equals 7 times sine of 28 over sine of 7. And that gives us 29.97. And this guy here, 29.97. Make sure I'm correct. What number are we doing? 13? Angle A is 28, angle B is 7, little a is, why am I off? I'm a little bit off. Sine of 7, 7 times, did I enter something wrong? I'm a little bit off. It should be somewhere around the 27. Why am I a little bit off? Hang on a second. Sine of 7. Let me answer this again. 7 times sine of 20. 7 times second function now sine of 28 divided by, oh, sorry, I copied this, 26.97. All right, so I'm very close to it. It's 26.97, and that's, I know that if you, I think it says round to nearest tenth, so that would be 26, that would be 27, right? Round to nearest tenth. You're good, okay? Then you have to do 14. So we did one, there were two triangles. We did one, there's one triangle, and then obviously this one is going to be, so let's draw this out. So this, in this case, this will be the angle that's given to us. Right? So imagine there's a floor. You measure this angle, and that was 73 degrees. That's angle B. And the opposite of angle B, right here, it's 27, so is 5. So let me just leave it hanging. A, the other side, is this little a. This is 7. So can we make a triangle given this? Right? You have an angle 73. The opposite side is 5. This one is 7. H is going to be this side, 7 times sine of the angle. 73 in this case. So 7 times, and we get that H equals 6.69. Okay. So let's look at the numbers and see if we're okay with. Okay. This is little b, right? So is b greater than the height? So you're using this to compare, right? We're always using this. That's dangling, right? Is that greater than the height? Is 5 greater than 6.69? No. And is that 5, which is b, greater than a in this case? No, because b is 5, and that's not greater than 7, so that's also no. So in this case, I cannot make a triangle. Okay. I'm going to jump to 25, because we didn't talk too much about it in class. 25 is a nice, different way of finding the area of a triangle, right? So 19 to 24, I'll give you the answers in a second, but 25, you're asked to find the area of a triangle. So anytime you have two angles two sides and the angle in between, you can find the area of an oblique triangle, not a 90-degree angle triangle. Right, so all you have to do, in this case, is going to be the area of this triangle, given this particular information, it's going to be half times these two sides, 11 times 11, and sine of the angle that's given to you. Sine of, in this case, 99. It's that easy. So let's put that in a calculator. 11 times 11 times 0.5 times 99, and that's going to give us that the area approx 59.76. They said near a sense of 59.8. That's fine too. I'll do one more here. Area is half the two sides times 7.6 times 6.7 times the sine of that angle, and you get the area. Pretty neat, right? So instead of half, I'm going to use 0.5. Well, 0.5 times 7.6 times 6.7 times the sine of that angle, which is 28. Enter, and the area of that one is 11.95. And again, you can practice on the other ones. So I'll do two more here. Let me look at. I'm not going to do all 6 problems. I'll do 19, I'll do 20, and I'll do 22. And that'll give you one of each, right? Of one of each case. So 19, let's draw it out. Let's draw 19 out. 19. So this is what you're given. This is the floor. You have a stick. You measure this angle. It's 63. In this case, that's called angle C, right? And you have a little stick here, and that measures 12, right? And they give you the other measurement here, which is 9, and that's little b. That's little b. Obviously, this is angle B, and this is going to be angle A, right? Now, we want to see if we can make the triangle. That's it. Nothing else. So, let's find the height of this triangle. To find the height of this triangle, right, we use H equals, hang on a second. H equals this, 9, right, times the sine of the angle that's given to us, sine of 63. And we can find the angle. So it's 9 times sine of 63. 9 times 60, sine of 63. And that's going to give us 8.1. Right, so the height is 8.1. So now I want to compare this number. I want to compare to 12. Is a 12 greater than the height? Yes? Yes, because the height is 8.1. Is 12 greater than this side over here, 9? Yes, it is. So when both conditions are met, when this little piece here, 12, is greater than the height, and greater than this side, and greater than this side here, adjacent to 63, then how many triangles can we make? One triangle. Let's do 20. Let's draw it out. So that's the floor. You have a stick. You measure an angle. It's 33 degrees. And this kind of calling this angle B. I'm going to give a stick to you, another second stick, and they're going to say that, hey, this is 22. They're going to say that this is 27, right? And they want to ask you if you can make a triangle out of it, right? So this 22, I just don't know if it's going to be, depending on the height, will it touch the floor to make a triangle, or will it touch the floor to make one triangle here and another triangle here? Two triangles. So let's go through the conditions. So let's find the height of that triangle. H is equal to 27, right? That adjacent side times the sine of the angle that's given, 33. 27 times, what is that? 33, sine of 33. And H is 14.7. So let's look at this, right? Because that's the one we have to use to measure, compare. Is 22 greater than the height? Yes. Is 22, sorry, is 22 greater than 27? This other side, the adjacent side, no. So when it's yes and no, when it's greater than the height, but less than the adjacent side there that's given to us, then this is two triangles, right? We can make two triangles. And then I'm going to do 22. I said 22. All right, so let's draw it out. Again, imagine this is the floor of the classroom. We're going to measure 95 degrees, which is, sorry, oops, for the classroom. We measure 95 degrees. This is angle B. And then there's this little stick here, and little b is 24, and this guy here is just 5. So let's measure this height. So the height is going to be 5 sine of 95. 5 times sine of 95. That's going to be 4.8. But I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Would be, that's 24, this would be 5, 5 sine of 95. The height is no, that's correct. So far so good. So let me just click back. So the height is 4.98. So let me erase this because this was the dangling part, right? So let's compare 24 to the height and 24 to the 5. So let me put it in blue. This is the guy you want to compare. Is 24 greater than the height? Yes. Is 24 greater than that adjacent side given to us initially? Yes. So when it's a yes and a yes, we get one triangle. Okay. Oh, I picked the wrong one. I thought that would be, oh, it's 24. All right, so anyway, 22. So 24, let's draw it out again. Here's the floor of the classroom. You're given this stick. This measures 35 degrees. That's angle B. And here dangling is 6, and this measures 24. Let's find the height of that triangle. Height is going to be 24 sine of 35. Height is 24 times sine of 35, and it's 13.76. So the height of this triangle, 13.76. So I'm going to put it in red this time. So let's compare that 6, that second stick I gave you, and you're going to compare. So is that 6 greater than the height? No. Is that 6 greater to the other side given to us, the first stick, 24? No. What does that mean when it's a no and a no? I can't make a triangle given those two sticks and that particular angle. Okay? That's that.